Are you an aspiring nurse or a student nurse, but you've not started your clinicals yet, and you are confused or you want to know more about what really happens at the wards, what really happens during morning shifts, afternoon shifts, and then night shifts? And for my public health nurses, please note that you go for only morning shifts. There's nothing like night shift or afternoon shift for public health nurses. They only go for morning shifts. Community nurses, you only go for morning shift, okay? But with the NAC, that is the nursing assistant clinical, those people can go for morning or afternoon. So right now, let's talk about what really happens within all these shifts, and I'll take them one by one for you. So if you're a public health nurse, don't worry, you'll still get something from this video. And if you're a mental health nurse as well, you'll still get something from this video, because mental health nurses go for morning, afternoon, and night shifts, just like general nurses part 2. If you don't know who I am, hi, I'm Mavis Akest. I'm a registered general nurse, and I'm currently doing my national service as usual. In nursing, as usual, you go for clinicals, and in my previous video I've talked about the formalities before you go for your nursing clinicals, being accepted, what to pack, and how to get there. So right now that we have done all these things, how do we comport ourselves in that wards? Or if, let's say, we are being sent to the wards, what really happens there? Let's start with morning shifts. With morning shifts, it's usually the busiest shift. That's what I would say, because with that, they are in charges. All the senior staff nurses are usually around during morning shifts. And secondly, we have staff nurses also around during morning shifts. Nursing officers are around during morning shifts. So if you are confused of who a staff nurse is or who senior nursing officer is, don't worry, I'll make a separate video talking about who they are, okay? But let's talk about during the morning shift, what happens. So when you go for morning shift, you will meet all the staff nurses, the in charges around, and they usually command everybody, okay? And as a beginner, when you go there, first of all, wear your apron and your cap if you are being sent to a ward. And with the wards, when you go for morning shifts, we do handing over. After handing over and then taking up, morning people will take up from the night people. Night people will hand over to the morning people. So after we are done handing over and taking up, the next thing is dusting. Dusting simply means cleaning of the beds, the side rails, the strip stand, the patient's bedside lockers. That is what morning shift entails. You clean every single thing around. With the cleaning, you need a glove, so kindly wear a glove as well. Go to the sluice room. When you go to the sluice room, there is a bleach available, provided for you. The bleach, you pick 1 cup of the bleach and then you pour it in a bucket, and also you pour 9 parts of water. You add it to the bleach, making it 10 in all. Then you fetch a handful of it. Then you go around to dust, clean up the environment, the bedside, and the rest. Don't wait for the in charges to come and shout at you before you go and clean the surroundings, okay? Another thing about morning shift is that you check vitals. 8 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock vitals, and also 2 o'clock in the afternoon as well. So we check 3 vitals in the morning for morning shifts. We usually give medications around 10 o'clock as well. So you give 10 o'clock medications and also 2 o'clock medications as well. As I said, morning shift is very busy because patients are coming in. Patients usually come in the morning because some of them, their problems start in the morning. They think that, oh, let me go there in the morning for the doctors to take care of me, the nurses to take care of me. So usually morning is very, very stressful. I wouldn't lie to you. Some staff will let you write care plans, and also some of them will be expecting you to know more. Some staff will be teaching you during morning shifts, but it's very stressful. So make sure you eat before you go for morning shifts. Go early as well, but don't go too early. early as in, if the hospital's morning shift starts around 7:30, you have to be there around 7 o'clock. If the hospital's policy is 8 o'clock in the morning, you have to be there around 7:30, 8 or 8:30. It depends on the hospital you are at. So that is what usually happens for morning shifts. As I said, you do dusting. The dusting, please make sure to arrange the patient's bedside lockers. The patient's bed, you straighten it with your glove. If the patient has a soiled bed linen or soiled bed sheets, you remove all those bed sheets and then you send it to maybe the laundry room or like a basket whereby they keep all the dirty bed sheets in. So usually for level 100s, you are usually asked to check vitals. That is what level 100s usually do. So if you're a public health nurse, you people come for morning shifts. With public health nurse, they're usually at the CWC, the ANC units. They can also be at the family planning centers as well. And also they go around educating people. So with this morning shift, usually they do health talk. They stand in front of the patients and then they talk to them. That is what usually happens for morning shift for public health nurses. They also make sure that they clean their tables before they start work. And there's nothing like handing over and taking nap in public health nursing. They are just coming to take care of the people available at the moment. After health talk, they also do weighing. So they weigh the babies when they come for morning shift as well. And also they give them medications. If the baby is due for a medication or injection, they do all of that for the morning shift. They also educate the mothers on how to breastfeed their children, how to take care of their children. And also, if you are being sent for maybe outreach or outside the hospital facility, you go around to educate people. So with public health nursing, they do not do afternoon shift or night shift because they take care of people who are not sick. With the mental health nursing, you will do morning shift, afternoon shift, and night shift. So with yours, just like the midwives and the general nurses are doing handing over, taking up, cleaning, dusting, and also making sure that the patients are well fed and the rest. You do feeding, taking care of the patients, documenting of information. It just happens to mental health and then midwifery. They are all the same. The people who run the 3 shifts, morning, afternoon, and night, they are all the same. Now let's go to afternoon shifts. With the afternoon shifts, usually they start around 2 o'clock in the afternoon and then they end 8 o'clock in the evening. Some hospitals start 1:30 in the afternoon and they end 7:30 in the evening. Example 37. Close very early for afternoon shifts and it's very nice there. But if only your distance is very far, that is what worries. But if you are closer, then it's okay for you. They don't do dusting for afternoon shifts. They don't do dusting for night shifts. Dusting only happens in morning shifts. So for afternoon shifts, they do handing over and taking up. Morning people will hand over to the afternoon people. Afternoon people will take up from what morning people ended with. Then they continue from there. Afternoon, you just check 6 o'clock vitals, and because there's a 2 o'clock vitals, the morning people have already done it for you. So usually the afternoon people just check 1 vitals, 6 o'clock, and after they are done checking that vitals, they give medication. So 2 o'clock medication is already done by the morning people. So usually the afternoon people will start from maybe 6 o'clock and then 8 o'clock medication. It depends. If the patient is due for medication within 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock, they give. So that is how afternoon is all about. Afternoon is usually calm as well. There are no in charges there because the in charges only run morning shifts. They don't come for afternoon and night. So afternoon is less stressful and it's also comfortable because your distance is closer. It will benefit you if you are for afternoon shift. Afternoon shift, you get time to rest because morning shift, you wake up very early to go to work. But afternoon shift, you get time to rest before you start your day. So afternoon shift is a little bit less stressful to night shift. Night shift, it starts around 8 o'clock in the evening to 8 o'clock in the morning. So with the night shifts, night people will take up from what the afternoon people ended. And usually with the night shifts, You need staff nurses who are also there to guide you through the night shift as well. For the night shift, you will check 10 o'clock vitals, and also you will check 6 o'clock vitals in the morning. So 10 o'clock in the evening and 6 o'clock in the morning. That is the vitals you usually check. And another thing is that for night shift, we give medications. If a medication is due around 2 o'clock, you wake up to give that medication. If it is 4 o'clock, you give that medication. If it is 10 o'clock, you give that medication. But usually, medication is usually around 10 o'clock going. So 10 o'clock, you give 10 o'clock medication, because the 6 o'clock medication is already being given by the afternoon shift people. So 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, or even 6 o'clock, you give those medications. That is how it works. And also 8 o'clock, if a patient is due for medication 8 o'clock, it is the duty of the night shift people to give that medication. If only the patient doesn't have the medication available during that time, that is when the morning people will continue from there. So it is a continuous work. The night shifts usually do bed bath. Night people bath patients if the patient can't walk, if the patient can't take good care of himself. They also feed the patient if the patient is unable to eat during the night. Night people would bath the patient if the patient is unable to bath. Night people would do oral hygiene. They brush their teeth if the patient can't brush their teeth. So with the night people, it's usually the hygiene, oral hygiene is usually done by night staff. And also changing of diapers, all the diaper thing to night people are the people who also change the diaper. But if the patient soils him or herself during the day, the patient soils him or herself during afternoon, those people on duty that time will do it. They wouldn't wait for night people to come and do it. If the patient soils him or herself during afternoon shift, that patient will be rest or taken care of by the afternoon people. Usually night staff are the people who usually bath the patients, because the morning and afternoon people, they do not really have time to come and bath patient twice, come and bath the patient in the morning and in the afternoon. It's usually the night people. That is what really happens. For the hospital I'm at currently, that is what is happening there. But I don't really know for other hospitals if they let morning people bath and the night people also bath. That is what really occurs at the hospital. If you are new or you don't really know what happens at the hospital. And with the medications, we document medication. Now we're going to give a medication to a patient. We check the patient's name, right time, if the time is correct. We check if it is 10 o'clock, if it is 2 o'clock, if it is 8 o'clock. We also check the expiring date, if the medication has expired or is about to expire. We check all of that. And then the route, if the patient is going to take it by the mouth or is going to take it through the anus or even the vein, we check that one too as well. And then we calculate the children. If the children is going to take a medication, we calculate that one too as well before we give the child or adult medications. And we also document if a patient is being taken care of. Everything you're going to do for the patient, we document everything. We write nurse's notes. I'll teach you all how to write the nurse's notes as well. Yeah, so that is it for now. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give it a thumbs up if you are new or if you want to know more about nursing. And also don't forget to share. And I'll see you in my next episode with new topics, with health related topics as well. Diabetes, hypertension, asthma, and a lot more general knowledge thing as well. How to also prevent pregnancy, how to also take good care of yourself. General thing. If you are not a nurse, don't worry. I have videos coming up for each and every one of us. Stay safe out there. Mwah.